So that first example was something that was done through a research, and it involved the point 1, 2, 3, and 4. Point 1 was the brief summary of the source. Point 2 was the identification type of source. Point 3 was a description of the findings. In this case, visual tools enhanced the student's ability. And then point 4 was a critique of the strengths and weaknesses. And although I haven't given you the strengths and weaknesses of that article, they were pretty evident. The strengths were obviously it helped. It was helpful across the board for the students and the participants through the use of sign language. One of the weaknesses was there was only 3 participants in the actual study itself, so you can't really assume or correlate that positive finding to a broader spectrum just because there was only 3 participants. And they all 3 came from different backgrounds and had different socioeconomical differences. So it's hard to say that they could relate to everybody in general. But in that particular research and in that particular study, it was beneficial for those involved and helpful in general that visual tools and direct instruction enhance the ability to use adjectives in writing and describing. So another type of document that can be used, which I'm going to give you an example of, is a article written by Frank Grazian. It's called How to Write with Nouns and Verbs. And now this particular publication is just 2 pages long, not even, it's like a page and a half long. But the point of that is it wasn't a research, it wasn't like a conducted research. Really, this is, the author is a professor at Rowan University in New Jersey, and he is, I guess, the professor of communications at Rowan, and he writes information on how to be a better writer. And part of what this says is, going back to the task wants you to put the source in APA format and then give a brief summary of the source. Well, the summary is the publication it's in, which is a quarterly publication that enhances writing, and the author. The author is a professor at Rowan University and involved in the communications department. Next is a description of the findings, if applicable. Well, there was no findings because there was no research studied, and therefore you don't have to do anything with that. And then the 4th one was a critique of the strengths and weaknesses. Well, in this case, the strengths of this article are that it clearly identifies how to make a noun better and some tools to use to enhance writing nouns and verbs the same way you would. In his article, it states to write a rough draft and then once completed, underline every single noun and go back and look at every single underlined noun and decide through steps 1 through 5 if you can make it a better noun that is, I guess, more purposeful for the paper. And then the same thing after you've done all the nouns is you go back, underline all the verbs, and go through steps 1 through 5 and see if you can make those verbs better verbs. I think it's a great idea to be a better writer, and it certainly makes you aware of different nouns and verbs that you can use to make your writing a little bit more colorful. But one of the weaknesses, and this applies to my research topic, is this would not be beneficial for special ed students. Special ed students that I'm targeting are already having a hard time identifying nouns and verbs. So to be able to write a rough draft, underline nouns and verbs, and then go back and edit nouns and verbs would be a very big challenge. So a weakness in this article is that it doesn't apply to my research topic. And therefore, I wouldn't use it when I'm going forward. However, in a general education setting, I found this to be one of the many articles that would be a really good idea at any level, even in elementary school. Just a really good idea. Put a sentence together, underline your noun. Can you use a better noun? Underline your verb. Can you use a better verb? It just seems to me like a good way to get students engaged in their own writing. Sometimes it's hard to edit your own. It's sometimes hard to identify where you can improve. But I think this is very clear. And if you just underline all your nouns, maybe you don't have to replace any of them. Maybe they're great, but maybe you could make it more colorful or descriptive by simply replacing what you've used with a better one. So in any case, I'm going to be doing this 10 times. As you saw, the first one was a little more in-depth because it was a research article, and then the second one was just a journal article, and it didn't have quite as much information, so it was a little quicker to read and a little quicker to write. I'm going to finish my annotated bibliography, and hopefully I'll be able to put a link up so that you can actually open my document and see it. And if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comment section. If you have any questions, please also leave that in the comment section and I will try to get back to you. My hope is this is task 1 of 2 for course C225 in my Western Governors Master's Program. I would like to try to make more videos and communicate through YouTube and hopefully create some kind of channel where you can subscribe and kind of help me get through what I need to get through when, I'm going through it. And if it helps you, that's really why I'm doing it. I know I needed a little help getting started with this, so I thought other people might need that help too. I'm putting it out there. Try to leave your feedback without any profanity because I will be showing this to my children because I think it's a great tool. But thank you so much for your time, and hopefully when I submit my task, it passes and I will be able to show you all that I've done. And moving forward, I hope to have more videos soon. Thank you for watching.